All right, young people. Now, hopefully you already watched the Edpuzzle and you put in any questions you had. So this is more just practice. I've got some notes at the top. If you want to write them down, it just kind of tells you why we do this. Again, it talks about that in the video, so you should already know. Here's the first practice problem I want you to do. I want you to simplify the square root of 80. I don't want the answer, I already have that up here, but I want it in radical form, just simplified. So go ahead and pause this video and see if you can do it. All right, now I have your step-by-step instructions. Your final answer should be 4 times the square root of 5. If you got that right, awesome. If you didn't, hunker down, and I'm gonna explain it a little bit. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna factor 80. So the first thing I did was broke it into the factors of 10 and 8. And then you've gotta keep factoring it down until you have all prime numbers. So 10, you can factor down to 5 and 2. Both of those are prime. 8 factors down to 4 and 2, and then 4 factors down to 2 and 2. All right, so I've got all my prime factors, and I'm gonna put them in a radical. Now we're gonna group together pairs. Since this is a square root, we're grouping them, any of them that repeat twice, we're gonna put together. So 5 doesn't repeat, that just stays as the square root of 5. 2 times 2 can change into the square root of 2 squared, and then we've got another 2 times 2, so it's the same thing. When we simplify these, the square root of 2 squared is just 2. We take my 2 times 2, which would be 4. 4 times the square root of 5 is written like this. All right, let's try another example. And I've got 2 more. All right, square root of 24. Go ahead, pause this video and see if you can solve it. All right. If you did it all correctly, you should have 2 times the square root of 6. Again, I factored 24 into all of its prime factors here. Put all my factors under the radicals. I have the square root of 3, the square root of 2, and then the square root of 2 squared, since there's 2 times 2. Factored all those down. The square root of 2 squared is just 2. Square root of 3 times the square root of 2, I can just do the square root of 3 times 2, which is the square root of 6. All right, and then one more for you to try. The square root of 243. This one's a little more difficult. Go ahead, pause and try it. All right. Here's what I did. My factors were 9 and 27, and I kept going until I had all prime numbers. Put my factors under the radical, and then if there was a pair, I changed it. So I've got the square root of 3 squared, since there was 3 times 3. Square root of 3 squared again, and then you have 1 3 left over. When I solve these, I get just 3 times the square root of 3, which is 9 times the square root of 3. Email me if you have any questions.